everyone, we're back, and our mixture is thickened. We're ready to start doing the next, and we're ready to move into the next phase. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our chicken that we have done, that I took out of the pan over there, and we're going to start shredding it to nice little cubes. So if I bring my stand over here, we're going to start shredding like that. Nice little cubes. A clean knife. If you want, you can even rub it with your hands. Make sure they're clean. These cubes don't have to look perfect. They just have to be cubes. They just have to be decently sized. Like so. But first, before we finish cutting up our chicken, we're going to put our vegetables in. We're going to put 2 cups in. And we're going to put our mixture to a simmer. So put the mixture to a simmer. Pour 2 cups of our vegetables in. Make sure those get nice and evenly distributed. Now they're nice and stirred into our mixture. Back to cutting up our chicken. Still filming, that's good. Our chicken is nice and cut up into cubes now. So now we're going to stir in our chicken into the actual mixture itself. So take it in. Stir it nice and gingerly. And then we'll stir. Everything nice and coated and mixed in. Here we go. Now that our chicken is nice and stirred into the mixture, we can move on to the next step. We're gonna get our pie crust and put it on and roll it out and put it on the bottom of our pan, of our pie crust mold. I'll bring it over here. show you right up close. Here's our pie crust. We're going to put one layer on the bottom first. We're using this Pillsbury brand. There we go. Now we're going to take our mixture here and start pouring it into the pie, the pan, or the pie crust. So we start scooping it in. See, we're taking our chicken mixture, our thick chicken mixture, putting it right into our pie. There we go. Nice yummy chicken pot pie. A little closer, just minimize any spillage. We'll continue spinning our chicken mixture for a little while longer. Some of this. Here we go. So our chicken mixture is spooned in. We're still recording, which is good. Now put our next part of the pie crust on. So this little top layer we're gonna put on right on top. Make sure that our mixture is spread evenly within. And then we have our pie crust that's coating the outside of the pie, the outside of the pie pan. Here we go. Now what we want to do is we want to cut some little incisions into the pie. So we'll cut one there, cut one there, cut one there, and cut one there so that air can escape. Beautiful little incisions. Now we want to do is we want to get some tin foil, some aluminum foil, put it right on the top like this. Some people do this step afterward, but my family likes to do it beforehand because we have a really strong oven. So what we do is we take our aluminum foil and we spread it around like this. Then what we do is we take a clean knife that I have over here. That I have over here. And we gently cut like this. We trace and cut like this. And this is so that the crust of the pie is covered with tin foil, so it's easy to take out and prevent burning on the crust. But the middle of the pie is not covered with tin foil and can actually cook really well. So once you have the outside covered, you can actually rip the middle part off. Like so. So this pie is your finished pie that's ready to go in your oven. So what we've got here in our mixture of peas, carrots, frozen mixed vegetables, some chicken on our pie crust and our aluminum foil on the top is we're going to be able to put this into the oven for 30 to 40 minutes until your crust is golden brown. You don't really want an overburnt crust on this. As for a specific temperature, we have our oven heated to 425 degrees in order to bake this. So you really want to be baking this for 30 to 40 minutes at 425 degrees. Some things that I really like about this pie are that it can be saved in the fridge over the that it can be saved in the fridge throughout the week. I mean that despite not being able to freeze this pie, you're actually able to serve it as leftovers throughout the week, which comes in handy a lot when you just need a quick meal to put in, or you just need or you need something to take to work, or something to have at home. Another thing that I really like is that this dish is a really common dish that can be used to serve a family. So if you have a family that you need to feed, or you have visitors coming over to visit, you can offer them this dish, and it'll be really good because everyone can take a nice chunk out of it. Some other things that I would recommend. You can do this dish in a smaller saucepan, but I really like this big Dutch oven because it gives me a lot of space to work with. But if you don't have a big Dutch oven, you can 100% definitely make this dish. A couple of other things. You don't want excessive browning or burning on the crust, so you definitely not want to skip the foil part of this. If you don't have foil, I'd recommend going and getting foil and putting it right on. You want to another key part of this is before serving, you want to let this rest for 5 minutes. That basically just means you let this sit out on the countertop for 5 minutes. And you let it just sit and you don't touch it. this ensures that after coming out of the oven, the pie isn't scalding hot and it can be served. Overall, I really liked making chicken pot pie with everyone. I'm really glad I had the experience to make a different dish that wasn't a breakfast dish, or a typical that wasn't the breakfast dish we did last week, or something typical that we normally do for our cooking show. I liked how we had the opportunity to make a pie that we've never actually made before, and we might have to explore other options in this realm as well. There are some substitutes that you can use for some ingredients here. If you want, instead of using the 1/3 cup of butter, you can actually use margarine instead. If your diet doesn't allow for butter, or you just do not like to use butter, you can use margarine instead. You can buy that at your local supermarket as well. You can really put potatoes in here as well. My family doesn't particularly like putting potatoes in here because what winds up happening is that they absorb most of the liquid rather than the mixed vegetables themselves. But if you want to cut up potatoes into cubes and then stick them in with the rest of the with the onions to make sure that they're nice and tender alongside the onions, you can do that as well. Just don't put them in with the mixed vegetables because you definitely want the potatoes to get some heat. Lastly, you definitely don't want to put a liquidy chicken pot pie mixture into the pie here, because the liquid would not bake very well. You really want a thick mixture, which is part of the reason why we put in our butter and our flour. So ultimately, this dish is going to go in the oven at 425, and when we take it out, my family is going to have a good meal to enjoy throughout the week. I really had a great time making this for everyone today, and I hope that everyone has an enjoyable time making this at West Bergen. Thank you guys, and I'm signing out for now. I hope we're gonna have a great thing to make next week as well. So stay tuned for next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.